Hello, good evening. My name is Morgan, and I bid you all welcome back to Rizon. We are going to carry on dealing with the loyalty quests for the Inquisition and the Dawn. We're starting with the Dawn today. So after my experience last time, I've decided the way we're going to do this is I'm going to do the next 3 of the initiation quests. As I said, there's a grand total of 7, which always gives you... basically prevents you from being able to soft lock yourself, because you have to do 4 for one side or the other, and are allowed to do up to 3 for the enemy, basically. So there's no way to accidentally get yourself stuck in the middle. I feel like that was a possibility in Elex back when I played it. I remember being stuck in a position where I couldn't join the Berserkers because I made the mistake of doing more neutral and non-committal solutions for some of the quests. But that doesn't happen here. Piranha Bytes wasn't quite so... didn't really give you the liberty to completely screw yourself over. So anyway, the first thing we're going to get started with is Romanov. We had a conversation with him last time. He said he wants some new shirts, or at least some shirts that were confiscated from him. And I get the feeling there's more to it than shirts. But they're in the Harbor Storehouse here. Obviously, if we try to get in any of these ways, we get slightly yelled at.
You should
threatened with a bonkin.
away.
We can go in here without anyone seeing, but that doesn't get us anywhere. Trying to go in here puts us at risk of being noticed by this guy, although, to be honest, he's not facing a direction that will get you spotted, so it's not actually that hard. In fact, even getting right behind him is not that difficult. So, my usual MO was always to jump onto the roof. I'll show you how I did that, but just because getting to Romanov's stuff, I think, still requires us to do that.
Gotta start again. It's broke.
Damn it.
There.
Now, I actually had a different technique of getting behind him because, to be honest, previously I didn't realize how easy it was just to do it that way. What? Let us do a snoop. Now, as before, just getting... basically completing the quest for one side or the other requires you to more or less do the same thing. The only difference is who you turn it into at the end. So whether you are a law-abiding warrior of the Order, or aspiring to be, doesn't really matter. You have to break and enter anyway. We might as well help ourselves to everything we can grab while we're here. We'll be put to the Lord's work in the end, should that be the path we choose. Once you're far enough away, you're not really at risk of Carrasco hearing your footsteppies. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, it is possible to just hop up here, so I guess my rooftop strategy was genuinely unnecessary. But it's a little bit more, I guess, roleplay friendly than doing it this way, because this way is a bit ridiculous. The fact that you can so easily sneak behind him because he doesn't pay attention to you as you approach the door is just nonsense.
What?
And here it is. It has the name Romanov and is unusually heavy for its size. There's a fair amount of gold in there, to be honest. Early on, Piranha Bytes, I feel like had a good knack for sound design. Old Kai Rosencrantz showing off his craft. I feel like he didn't quite do as good of a job in this game. A lot of that is because of the sound effects that he used. He was always a prolific user of sort of bargain bin stock sound effects, but the ones he used in the Gothic days were not as noticeable as the ones he used in this game. I feel like they're a bit egregious here. But also just, I brought that up because of the way the wave crashing sound effects cut in as I got close to the wall. And it's not really directional, it's just when you're in the zone, it's the general ambiance around you. It's actually not so... It works properly up here, but for some reason inside the building, it just kind of like cut in. Anyway. So, my usual strategy is exactly reverse of the way I came down here. Hop up there and hop up here, and you have your way in. But it turns out Carrasco makes it quite easy. Now, as far as this building here, there's a locked door there. What skill of picking locks? We only have one. I'm pretty sure it needs at least lock picking level 2. But we shan't need that because we can hop over here, climb up here. We have a bit of a risky drop, but a very possible one. Alright, nailed it. Even though I did that much hastier than I intended. And we are inside.
There's something here about artifacts. Interesting. There is a warning about restless bones in some of the sarcophagi.
Sarcophages? Why would they bring sarcophagi up here? And I must ask how they got them in here, because they are wider than the door. And this is a very silly way of getting them up here. I don't feel like they needed to be in this room specifically. They could have been down lower, where they were a lot easier to maneuver. Anyway, let's disturb the dead. I mean, they're already dragged out of their tombs anyway. So what's a little grave robbing gonna bother them? Alright, so that's Rovanovsky dealt with. Well, not completely dealt with. His casket dealt with. Of course, our choices here are, pardon, to deliver it to Sergio or deliver it to Romanov himself. This being the Don save file, we are delivering to the Don. I'll just double check that I did get it right. Beg your pardon? Oh, I already dealt with that. Yes. This is definitely the Don file. I'm anxious about it because that's absolutely something I'm capable of, is overriding one with the other.
Here is your casket.
You found it? Anyone see you fetching it?
No one important.
Strangely, that doesn't put me at ease.
This casket is heavy. I'm guessing I brought you more than clean shirts. Maybe shirts and the gold the Inquisition is looking for?
Could be. Or it could be my shirt buttons are just extremely heavy.
Could be.
A lesser man would have forced the lock to find out.
I gave you my word.
And a man's word is worth more than gold. Though gold never goes amiss. What say I throw 300 gold your way?
Then it would be rude of me to turn it down.
That shan't go amiss
Stranger or
either.
friend, a decent deed is worth a decent reward.
Indeed. If your shirt buttons were as heavy as that would be very ill-advised, because should you ever tumble overboard in your seafaring adventures, that would drag you straight to the bottom.
And? What about Romanov's gold? Have you found anything?
Nope. Not yet.
I thought as much. The task was obviously too difficult for you. Now, unless you have good news, leave me to my job.
It'd actually be funny if we could tell him that we gave it to Romanov. Because Romanov can't really do anything with it while he's in there, and they could easily go in and confiscate it again. But again, it's a little bit stupid because the door's open, the guard's not watching, and nobody really gives a shit. He has made no effort to leave so far, but he shall. Not to spoil anything. Call this Dawn 9, because this is episode 9. And we shall reload Ink 9. And y'all shall stand by as I redo this whole looting for the Order.
Wasn't it? Yes. Job well done. Did it.
Now, for some reason when doing all that, I didn't think to show myself looting some of these other rooms. But I did happen to record it while doing it here. So, I'll just cut in a bit of footage of that with a bit of text to tell you exactly what's going on. But, long story short, some of these rooms are hard to get into because of Ukos outside, the ogre. He's kind of facing all of them, but as long as you stay in sneak mode just outside of his perception range, which happens to be achievable in basically every direction, you can get in there and take the stuff without much fuss. If you were to try and distract him in any way with like the illusion or a tell joke spell, being an ogre, he's not responsive to any of it. So, unfortunately, none of those are an option, but it's not that hard to do without. Anyway, we're just gonna mop up all this good stuff. And have a chat with Sergio. So long, fool. Alright, the Surge.
I found this casket. It has Romanov's name on it.
Huh? Do you know what you've just given me? The gold the Don gave to Romanov must be in this casket.
Go on. I never would have thought of that.
You've done an excellent job. Commandant Carlos will be immensely pleased. Here, your reward. But don't spend it all in one place.
Thanks.
It'll be hard not to spend it all in one place, there's not very much. This is one of those where you are explicitly getting less of a reward from the Order. Like, depending on how you interpret it, probably less than half of what Romanov would give you.
Where the hell have you been? And where's my casket?
I gave it to the Inquisition.
You did what? You useless sack of entrails. Think you've helped yourself? You fucked yourself. Fucked yourself.
Sounds like an average Friday to me,
Believe
buddy.
me, gutter dog, you won't get to do that a second time.
So what's funny is, even though it sounds like he should be pissed off with you forever, you can continue doing this bit.
Steelbeard has a shack here in the town.
You sure?
Vasily told me.
Patty better not get wind of it. I don't entirely trust Vasily not to get drunk and blab his mouth. He's meant to be watching Patty. But he'd like to do more than watch, I'll bet.
Why are you watching Patty?
Pays to keep an eye on your enemies. And her father wants to pay me back a little for scuttling his ship and killing half his crew when we last fought. Sure, he'd have done the same to me given half a chance. But there's a score to settle. So it's up to me to settle it before he pays me back. Finding Steelbeard. That's something me and his daughter have in common. Maybe her search will help me find her father before she does.
Indeed, I'm gonna steal your lice-ridden bed. Alright. So that's the Inquisition done. For that part. Ooh! See what I'm saying? I was that close. Almost overwrote the wrong save file. Alright, so next order of biznatch is Weasel. He mentioned that he is responsible for getting the Brugal weed in town. But the man acting as the intermediary seems to be taking a bit of a cut.
Carlos wants to talk, so move your carcass to the guardhouse.
That is weirdly hostile, sir, considering I am on the Order's side this time. We're not going to do that now, because it kind of doesn't change anything, but having done 4 quests for the Inquisition, we can technically call it here. We're going to keep going.
I'm ready to follow Garth.
Garth's leaving. Give him a bit of a head start, then follow him. Keep your distance, but don't let him out of your sight. If anything goes wrong, come back. Got it?
Got it. I'm watching the man. Now, just to be clear, this is what happens should you just straight up get too close to him.
Hey, what are you doing? Are you following me?
Why should I do that? Do you have something to hide?
No, not me. I'm just going to get a drink.
So immediately fail it.
I lost Garth.
Well, that's a screw-up.
So what can I do now?
Right. Think. We haven't lost yet. Garth will still meet with his partner. You have to find him.
Where should I look?
Probably somewhere in the gutters. In a house, in a hideout. Look for him in the gutters.
So the funny thing is, we didn't really lose Garth. Now, I think he's warped on because of the conversation we just had, but even if you screw that up, you can still follow him there and complete it anyway, but that's your failsafe if you happen to lose him. Which is honestly a difficult thing to do unintentionally.
Are you following me?
What?
Why should I?
No.
Okay, I guess it auto-saved when we walked up to him for some reason. I don't recommend sneaking because everyone you walk past is gonna comment on it. As long as you don't get right up in his face. As long as you don't get right up in his face, Garth will not notice.
Hey, sweetheart. How about I make a real man of you? Once you get some lily loving, you'll never look back.
How much will that cost me?
Oh, when I'm finished with you, you'll feel like bathing me in gold. But a couple of gold coins will do for starters.
Define a couple.
Good. Let's go.
Then follow me. Let's set you a course for heaven.
Now, this couldn't more obviously be the wrong thing to do here, but well, we gotta cover all avenues, don't we?
Well, here we are.
Here we are indeed.
Here we are.
You just relax and get yourself comfortable, and let me work my magic.
Are you all magic here? One's a psychic, one's a magician.
Well now, can't you rock the boat better than any storm?
Right.
Anytime you want to set my sails, you know where to find me.
Yep.
Don't be a stranger.
Man, you really have unprecedented pillow talk there, Mr. Dick Risen. So yes, obviously that fails it exactly the same way as walking into Garth's face. But at least you get to hear that horribly awkward dialogue. Man, if I could put on the charm anything like this man, well, I'd still have to spend a lot of money, wouldn't I? So needless to say, we won't do that again.
Hey, sweetheart. How about I make a real man of you? Once you get some lily loving, you'll never look back.
Sorry, I'm not interested.
Come on, love. How long has it been since you had a warm body beside you?
What part of I'm not interested did you not understand?
All right. Can't blame a girl for trying.
Now, annoyingly, that conversation lasts long enough for Garth to get out of sight. Not far enough to despawn if you just hustle. And for all the talk about this town, it's really not terribly big. There aren't many different avenues he could have taken.
Oh, crap. What do you want? Did you follow me?
It really wasn't hard.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Yeah. I seen you about. Nosing in everyone's business. People don't like people's noses being stuck into other people's business. People like that gets hit. By people.
Hand over the packages you took.
Sure you want to do this?
Absolutely.
Then you leave me no choice. Garth, get him! Shut his flapping mouth. Time for a little
Oh
lesson.
man, these people are about to beat up me as people. Ow. Alright, so this is probably the first occasion where you're gonna have to fight two people at once. And it gets very rough because they have no AI that stops them both from trying to attack you at the same time. It's all about positioning, and unfortunately, they're kicking my ass today. Wow!
And a few coins for me.
I'm gonna be honest. In none of my tests did I go down. Let alone go down without landing a single hit. They fucked me up today. Let's try again.
Shut his time for a little
I would say the first thing you should do is probably take down Garth. But really the most important thing is that you don't let either of them kind of flank you. Ow, holy shit, this man's fucking me up. Oh my god! I've never had this much trouble with these guys. I was just saying that it is quite tricky, but... Oh god, I smacked the chicken. So the issue that you're gonna find is that using a shield doesn't really give you the blocking angle you might expect. I'd say it's probably less than like 30 degrees in front of you. Now luckily Garth doesn't have a whole lot of health, but they do almost equivalent damage. Cutter obviously does a little bit more. I think I glitched out there and actually didn't fall over. I should have not quick-loaded so quickly. So this is shockingly tough. Now you do have a choice here. Which I didn't think I was going to use. If you stay back far enough, you can talk to Garth and get that opening dialogue without Cutter saying anything.
Oh, crap. What do you want? Did you follow me?
It really wasn't hard.
So if you wanted to, you can use like the tell joke spell to distract Garth for a bit. As long as you're fighting Cutter near him, though, I think you will ultimately get involved. But I also do want the XP for beating him up anyway. So I think we're just going to have to roll with it.
Hey, yeah, people
Hand
shut abs. Then you guard shut his flap time for a little lesson. Huh?
I killed a chicken. So the auto lock-on has been widely criticized in this game by reviewers at the time. And this fight really exemplifies why. Because of the narrow blocking radius. Narrow blocking angle. Fights like this can get really frustrating when you're trying to face a specific enemy and the lock-on is stuck to just whoever's closest to you or whoever you were last focused on. It's difficult to change it. So Garth is down. Unfortunately, as long as he's down, we're gonna not really be able to loot him. If you really tried, you could try and grab his stuff, but you'd have to put your weapon away to do it and be at risk of getting slapped by Cutter.
Someone should stop this.
Now, the annoying thing I found about Garth is that
There'll be trouble. Mark
he
my
doesn't
words.
like to get out of the way very often. So as you're fighting Cutter, he tends... I mean, he's not doing it now. But in my tests, he was frequently just, like, standing in the middle. And I very often tended to hit him again, which would get him to join the fight again. And also count as an act of aggression that would get you in trouble with the
There'll be
law.
trouble. Mark my words.
So that's one thing to bear in mind. You just obviously don't want to accidentally get a bystander
This shouldn't
involved,
be happening.
even though he was an aggressor previously.
Wrong. Wrong.
Now.
Alright. So that's you dealt with. We got the packages.
Right. Now let's hear the truth.
It's Cutter's fault. He made me do it. He did. He wanted me to set aside some weed for him. Just a bit.
What did he give you for it?
Meat. And some gold. But it wasn't much. And I haven't any left. Please don't tell Carlos. I couldn't hack it in the monastery. I'm not cut out for it. I have allergies.
Just get out of here.
Thanks.
Should have thought about your allergies before you start stealing weeds. So, even though it still gives you the option to pay him for teaching you alchemy, once you beat him up, you can bypass that payment by just kind of blackmailing him.
I think you owe me.
Of course. I'll teach you what I know.
So there you go. Now you can learn basic alchemy, which allows you to learn advanced alchemy from the alchemist, whose name I forgot.
Now start talking.
Look, I didn't mean to step on the Don's toes.
You stole his weed. That's pretty much stomping on them.
I wasn't going to sell it in Harbour Town.
Then where?
Just in the monastery. They all love a bit of Bruegel up there.
You should remember it's the Don's Bruegel.
They're rich up there. Loads of gold. It's all that poking around in the ruins.
Who else is involved in this Bruegel smuggling?
Just me.
And I'm supposed to believe that?
Believe what you like.
What can you teach me about combat?
Has your brain fallen out? After the crap you put me through? Forget it.
So unfortunately, once you do this, you lose him as a combat instructor, but it be how it is. Now, a lot of people I know don't care for the protagonist's voice. I've always been kind of, I don't know, fond of it. There aren't many voice actors for Piranha Bytes games besides Crispin Freeman as the hero in Gothic 3. But he was not really given his best shot because of how bad of a script he had. You know, his dialogue was as, you know, brutalist as necessary, I guess, to just ask the questions and not really have much of a personality. But other than that, even Risen 3, the protagonist in that, was widely criticized for his uber edgy, raspy chainsmoker voice. Somehow I came around to it. It was really Jax in Elix 1. I just could never find any charm with. I mean, he had one line that I remember, where like someone called him a lapdog, and he just sarcastically goes, "Woof."
Are you raised new watchdog or something? Woof.
And I did find that funny. But other than that, his voice was just so bad at expressing anything. And I know his whole character in that was a man who suppressed emotions for decades. So he doesn't really know how to have an emotional tone of voice, but it was just, he didn't do a good job, I'm gonna be honest. Alright, so we don't want to do this. So we are on the Inquisition this time. So what's his other one?
Garth's working with Cutter.
Cutter. He lets us pay him so we can work in peace, and then he steals from us. That bastard had suck bog bodies if he thought there was money in it. What about the packages? Did he have them on him? We need those packages.
Well, guess who's getting them, bitch?
These packages may interest you.
What's this? My, oh my. That is a lot of Bruegel weed.
The packages are Weasels. You wanted proof? This should be enough.
This is more than enough.
So he'll be sent to the monastery.
Weasel as a recruit? Every man would have to watch their back. No, it's enough if he leaves town. Let him crawl back to the swamp. You found the evidence. I hope you can be counted on to make sure he leaves.
Now, I don't really know if I'm looking for it necessarily, but I feel like Marcello's face is possibly the least duplicated face in this game, and of all the characters who don't have a unique one. I think he's like another generic face, but with a goatee. But somehow that combination just hasn't happened otherwise. I can't think of any other character. There's probably a lot of Inquisitorial... Yeah, exactly. So this guy is identical to him. So for some reason, a lot of the generic warriors of the Order use that face. Well, almost no... I don't think any other named NPC that I can think of.
Marcello has got the packages.
What? The Don's gonna be pissed off about this. Really pissed off.
Oh, really? I thought it was the Inquisition's town.
I don't think so.
Okay.
The monastery is waiting for you.
I actually have big plans for you. But the Order deserves you. And I wouldn't piss on the lot of you if you were on fire. Enjoy it while you can. Plenty have tried to rule this island. They all leave.
I mean, I don't think he's wrong, because, well, not to get into spoilers here, but the Inquisition don't exactly spend much time here after the events to come. But anyway, that's him dealt with.
Weasel will leave town.
One less of the Don's men. That was good work.
What happens now?
I'll tell Carlos about Weasel's Bruegel weed business and how you helped. You've earned a reward. Spend it wisely. You want more? I'm sure you'll find someone else with work. These outlaws never stop.
Why, thank you. So that leaves one more thing to do for the Inquisition before we get to the Gold Bowls. The Gold Bowls are where we will start the next episode, because those pretty much lead into finding our way out of town, one way or the other. Alright. So that's, we're reloaded as the Donsman. Let's redo everything, because God, do I love doing things twice. Lily here does annoy you too much. She's not that hard to avoid. Just give her a wide berth.
Oh dear!
Oh, fuck you! Fuck you!
There'll be trouble, mark my words!
What was that?
Stop! Now.
Son of a bitch. Alright. That's done. Clean and without any complications.
Garth's working with Cutter.
Cutter. He lets us pay him so we can work in peace, and then he steals from us. That bastard would suck bog bodies if he thought there was money in it. What about the packages? Did he have them on him? We need those packages.
Well, guess what I've got?
Here are the packages you wanted.
Good work. A lot of gold is coming your way.
That is not what I'd call a lot of gold. That is a modest amount of gold.
Come on then. Tell me how to fleece the merchants.
Right. There are two worthwhile targets. There's Conrad, the goods merchant. He buys from the farmers and sells at a big profit. And there's Alvaro, the weapons dealer. Since the only smith in the town works for him, he dictates the price of weapons.
How do I collect from the two merchants?
First, get an overview. Talk to them. Perhaps even buy something. You have to find out what's keeping them busy, what problems they have, and what weaknesses. We know their weaknesses. We can use that against them.
I discovered that Alvaro has a blade staff in his cellar that his prize customer really wants.
Sounds like an opportunity. I assume that Sid and Delgado have taught you the necessary talents for removing objects.
Well,
if not, you should catch up. Get a bit of advice from them.
and what do I do with the blade staff?
You'll give it back to him, like any upstanding citizen would. Of course, not without pocketing an appropriate reward.
And Alvaro will play along with that.
He's a businessman. As long as you aren't too brazen, he'll consider it.
Who is your leader here in the town?
We have an old storeroom in the rear of Sonia's brothel. You'll find him there.
Good.
So there you go. That's how you will learn how to find this elusive Scordo that we heard so much about. Once you have done 4 of the Don's quests, you can ask any of them. The only one who won't tell you is Romanov himself, because how the hell would he know? But I'm gonna just take a quick nap, and we'll track down the leads that Weasel gave us for getting some more money. Now, he says to refer to the skills that Delgado and Sid gave you, but the only skill you need to know for any part of this is picking locks for Alvaro's. Alvaro? Yeah, Conrad is the goods merchant. You really don't need any specialty thief skills whatsoever. Walter did tell us about the ease at which we could get into Alvaro's basement here, and what's funny is the advice he gave us was to find a time where Alvaro was kind of walking around and not paying attention. But as it so happens, while he's around the corner and his wife is facing away, this is not difficult to do.
Better start again.
Shit.
That wasn't it. Did it?
So if you take Weasel's advice to heart, He says that as long as we aren't too brazen, Alvaro will play ball. I'll show you what too brazen looks like, but there is a maximum amount that you can get out of him.
I heard you lost Marcelo's staff. You'll be interested to know I found one.
Just found it, did you? Wasn't in my chest, was it?
It's a
I
staff.
don't understand
and
how
it's
it fit
yours.
in there.
That's
it was
what
like
I'm
7
saying.
feet long.
You rotworm. You're asking me to pay for my staff?
See it as a reward for me finding it.
You're a piece of work, you are. Pretend to care about Walter. You're just interested in yourself.
It's just a bit of gold. Add it to your next deal.
And to think I thought you were all right for an outsider.
Oh, and I'll need a little more. For expenses.
And that's the end of it.
I'll also need a bonus to stop this happening again.
What? I'm paying you to stop you stealing from me?
Think of it as insurance.
I don't know what to think now.
And I'll need a small amount to stop word of this getting around.
I don't care if word gets around. In fact, I want it to. People should know you robbed me. Get out of my house.
Well, alas. What's funny is, even though he demands we leave and probably hates our guts, he's still a businessman, much like Costa, and his principles are, you know, way less than gold.
Show me what you have.
But, if we want to do this right, that means our maximum reward that we can get out of him is an extortionate 200 gold pieces.
It's just a bit of gold. Add it to your next deal.
And to think I thought you were all right for an outsider. And that's the... What?
Think of...
I don't know what...
Now, what's annoying is this line here is present in all 3 of the last dialogue options, so it's only a response to what he said, like, 2 choices ago. So, in context, it doesn't make sense anymore.
I am, or I'd have asked you for a lot more.
Just sling your hook.
There you go, sir. Maybe now you have learned to invest in better lucks. Thorben would be so disappointed in you.
What?
What? Alright, so the other lead is Conrad.
Can you help me? I need to know where Conrad's cows are.
He has them in an enclosure at the rear town gate. He has a farmer garden. I don't know his name, but he looks tough. All the cows are Conrad's, apart from my Elsa. At least they've spared her so far.
I guess he couldn't bear to let her go.
What's that stench?
What? I don't smell anything. I have only top quality goods. What are you trying to do? Drive my customers away?
Must have been something from down the street. Do you have any work going?
I already pay enough workers. More would bleed me dry.
With a business like this, maybe you need someone to protect you.
What? Are you threatening me? Are you one of the Don's puppets? Let me tell you something. I make money. I don't give it away.
So unfortunately, he's not playing ball quite so easily. And again, nobody...
I heard Conrad swearing at you. That bastard only cares about gold. At least now, he knows what it's like to lose something.
I don't think anything happens if you kill Elsa. That's the cows on the other side of town that we were interested in.
Conrad keeps a couple of cows at the rear town gate.
Good to know. And?
He has the cows watched by a farmer.
And take a look around there. And talk to this farmer.
Indeed. Things do get a little bit tricky here, but we have tricks of our own.
So you guard cows?
Yeah, and feed and milk them. Berta here is the best cow we have, aren't you, old girl? She's a grand milker. Best on the island. A real bovine beauty. No wonder Conrad wants me to guard her.
I can see you're very proud.
I think you're a little more enthused about that cow than you ought to be. milk. Alright, so, needless to say, if you just go in swinging...
Put that thing away. Stop interfering with livestock!
Interfering is a word. Now, as long as you keep them over here, you don't have to worry about the guards getting involved. But if they notice the fight going on, they will join on his behalf. So if you're struggling with dealing with him, the alternative is to use a joke spell. They'll leave him laughing his ass off too much to notice you murdering the cow. Well, this is getting very awkward. Needless to say, knocking them down gets us the XP for doing so that's worth it. Killing the other cow is worth it for XP and schmeats. If you want to, you can rub it in this man's face, even though his face is already getting rubbed in it as we speak.
If you've got... I don't trust you.
I guess you can't rub it in his face.
Leave me alone.
His face has been rubbed in enough.
Conrad has a favorite cow. A really good one. Berta.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Probably not.
I'm sure he would miss Berta, and a dead Berta will remind him of his own mortality.
Berta's been pasteurized.
Dead cow. Excellent. Then grab her skull and put it in Conrad's bed. Then see me again.
Alright, we're giving him the old Jack Waltz treatment. Don't mind me, sir.
You better not be trying to nick anything.
Well, you're both minding me, so...
What do you want here?
Let's find another way in. I don't know if he actually says anything if they see you putting the head in there. It's worth testing, I suppose. It'd be kind of hilarious.
What are you doing in here?
None of your business.
What do you want here? Leave the animals alone!
Oh, wow. He actually does say something. I didn't think they had that much foresight. Alright, so our only choice is to enter from the balcony. Now, luckily the balcony counts as an exterior, so even if they hear you stomping about here, they don't do anything about it. She might see me anyway. Apparently not. You blind fool. Now just think about the fact that they had to... I like how it says skull. It's her just entire fleshy head. But somebody had to model that whole thing. It's very unusual. Piranha Bytes was never much for... I would say... extraneous assets. There were not many things that they only used once. But that is a case of something they did. Unless there's mounted cows' heads as, like, decorations in some houses, but I can't think of any I've ever seen.
Conrad won't be sleeping alone tonight.
Better find that a moving experience. I'd stake my life on it.
Too many puns! We can't take it.
Now, let's give him a little time to grasp the situation.
When should I go back and see him?
No hurry. Rest. See Sonia. You've earned it. Then you can visit Conrad.
I guess we'll give him some time to graze on it. I don't think that's a figure of speech anywhere, but... So basically, wait a day and go back.
It's you!
Hello, Conrad. How's business?
You dare to show your face here. I know you were behind it. You and that weasel.
What do you mean?
You killed my cow. You killed my Elsa.
Well, your Elsa wasn't very well protected.
You bastard.
These are dangerous times.
Yeah, and every bastard is just out for what they can get.
And you're stuck with me.
Here, take your gold. I don't know how you can sleep at night. Just leave. Just go.
I sleep at night a lot better with the very fancy plush pillows I can buy with your money. I guess he really was attached to that cow, because he almost sounded like he was on the verge of tears there.
Conrad paid up.
The skinflint made the right decision. Now he's tame, we know where he is if we need to, milk him. But if he needs us, well, we'll help him. Only fair.
Alright, so that's done. Alright, now, an hour into this video, we're ready for mission number 6. Luckily, this is the shortest one. So as you recall, Toni here said that there is an heirloom of the Don in his house that is stuck behind the Inquisition here. Now, I don't remember, did he give us the exact clue? Yes, he did. Secret room accessed by a hidden switch behind a picture. So just go around clicking on pictures. Behold. Door just moves right out of the way.
There's something here about magic.
Magique.
That didn't do it. It broke.
Damn it.
Yes.
And then this cupboard here is the heirloom, amulet of the Don's family. Weirdly, it has some decent weapon protection, but almost no value. I honestly don't know if you can sell it. I guess we'll find out, just for the sake of knowing. You can indeed, and that's... oh no. It has a gold value, but not for sale. So, for the Don's sake, all we have to do is turn it into Toni.
Here. Is this the Don's amulet?
Hey, you found it. I have to say, I doubted you. Thought you were another collaborator. But not anymore. You've done us both a favor. I'll make sure you're rewarded.
Indeed.
What will you do now?
I'm staying put. I need to think. And I need to watch Hernandez.
Have fun.
Enjoy your lot, Toni. Just keep your ass warm in that bench.
Toni has the Don's gold amulet.
Yeah, and I'm the winner of the Harbour Town Prettiest Arse competition. I didn't believe you before, and I'm not about to believe you now. So piss off and stop flapping your mouth at me, will you?
Listen, I am the final judge of the prettiest ass competition. And I assure you, you are not in the finals. So, naturally, we redo that as the Inquisition, and it takes no more or less time.
Here. This seems to be the Don's amulet.
Well, would you look at that? And the boys said they'd gone through everything. Right, I'll take it from here. Have a few gold coins for your trouble. And tell Toni his prize has been snatched from under his nose. Maybe he'll stop his skulking about.
Oh, you can't stop a skulker from skulking.
I found Don Esteban's amulet.
You did? Where is it?
Hernandez has it.
You what? What happened? How did he even know it was there? You realize I've got to tell a Don. You've dropped me into a world of shit.
Enjoy.
Tony's going to leave.
Good. That'll save me having to stare at him all day. Here's some gold to line your pocket. You should think about getting some training in the monastery. We could use a man like you.
It's funny that he ends up giving you more gold in the end. So I guess that'll do it. The final quest for either side is the gold bowls. And we'll take care of that next time, because that leads us directly to the elusive Scordo, one way or another. And to our ticket out of town. So it makes sense to wrap that all up in one go. Until then, I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to check out the links in the description below for well, links to my Discord, my Twitch channel. And till next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.